Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunday Stitching with Slow Stitching with Rita. This video may come out before Sunday because I don't think I'll get it finished in one setting, so maybe I'll do a video prior to Sunday. But we'll see what happens and how far I get. If I think you know what I'm doing, then I'll just do this one video. Okay. So I told you last time I was going to make a stitching needle case. I'm sorry. I always do this every time I start. I like lose every thought in my head. So this pattern here I purchased. It's by Lucy Brennan, and she is at www.charmaboutyou.com. And she's also on Etsy, so you can find her there or go to her website. Now, when I saw this, I said, oh, I really like this because I like the embroidery and the design and all that. But as I was going through the pattern, which I'm not going to share with you because you would have to go get your own, but I changed it. I mean, it did not exactly work for me. But I can tell you, I'm starting off with a 10-inch, I made some templates. So I'm starting with a 10-inch circle, which is the size of a dinner plate. So all you have to do is go grab a dinner plate, which I didn't have. My plates are square. So then you're going to need a 7-inch circle template. And you can get that out of another dish or something. And they don't have to be this exact size. It's up to you. I went with the 10 because that's what she used, but you could make it smaller or even larger, I guess. So, but that's what you need. You need a 10 template, 10-inch, and a 7-inch template, and a 5-inch template circle. Okay? So what you need to do is you need 2 fabrics that are on the 10-inch circle here. So that's this fabric that I picked, and this fabric is the outside. So when it's folded up, it's going to look something like that. And it's bigger than I thought it would be. So, all right, so let me just set this. I wasn't going to use something directional like this, but I did. So I'm just going to have to live with it. Okay, so you need one for the top and one for the bottom. And then you're going to need a felt that is 10 inches. And that's because you're going to be stitching, and it's kind of like it'll be your inside batting, let's say, stitching. All right, so now that's that. So those are 3 that you get out of this 10-inch circle. Then I'm going to, I folded this one in half like that, and in half again, and then in another quarter, and I pressed it so that I could get my lines for the inside of this little pie shape. And so what I think I'll do is, let me see if I can get a quick ruler here. I'm going to do this because I don't know if you can see it. Plus, when you iron lines, they tend to, go away. And this we can iron and remove the friction pen. I got the one that's hard to write on with on fabric. It was a bad one in the bunch. And I just buy refills on these. You don't have to buy a new pen every time. Just get a refill. They're on Amazon. I go through them so quickly. I never want to be without one. Okay, So can you guys see all that? Because I'm not sure. I hope I've got the camera in. Oh, that one didn't even show. Let me go back and do that. It's still not showing. Darn it. Oh well, I'll mark it later. So now we have this, and this is, you can decide now if you want to, that seems very off. It is. I probably should pin it just to make sure it stays where it's supposed to, or I'll be stitching it weird. So now, I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So here I'm going to take the 7-inch one and I'm going to line it up to the lines that we drew. And then around here I'm going to trace this outside. But hold on, let me go get the right pen or I'll never get it done. Okay, this pen works great on this one works on fabric, but this one, it doesn't, it skips. And it works on paper. All right, so I'm gonna go around this because I want, now you could add an extra piece of fabric in here if you wanted and make it, I don't know, a little bit more fancy. And then on hers, she also did a lot of embroidery on the back side. But I'm not going to do that on this. I don't know, maybe I could, I don't know. I'm just going to do like a running stitch around this circle. I mean, this is just for me, so it's, I've just been wanting a place to put my needles where I can find them. But, you know, I got to put the needles in here, right? Okay. I guess that's pretty good. Could be a little bit better, but yeah. All right, we're going to stitch it anyway. Okay, so now this outside border here is where I'm going to do a running stitch around, all the way around and around. Like, I think she did, well, it looks like she, I don't know, she did one outside, but the inside she did more stitching. That was before she put it together, I'm assuming. And this is some of the other stitching that she did on the wrong side, on this side. So you could do that, but it was a little bit much. And I think a lot of it she did by sewing machine too. Okay, so now we've got this, and then our next placement would be this piece of felt. And that is going to go in the center there. So let me see if I can, if I set it on here. Now let's, okay, so I'm setting it, I'm going to put it right there on those two lines, and then I'm going to lift it up like so and lay it down. And this is going to be our sections for all of our needles in these sections, okay? And then on this template, you can see I wrote the word cross stitch. So I'm not sure how good my handwriting is. It's not very good. But if I wanted to do cross stitch here, I could embroider it, or I can use a permanent pen. So let's see, C, R, O, S, S. So I'm not going to fit it all in there. S, T, I, C, H. S, T, I, S, T, I. It should be T, C, H. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, that does not fit there because I didn't take my time. But you could write it in, or you could stamp it, or you could, you know, write it and then do an embroidery through it. And if you wanted to do that, I would do it before you stitch all the rest of this down. That way you're just doing the embroidery on that part there. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these lines going across just so I can stitch straight. Because I cannot stitch straight. I mean, I do it, but I don't like to. And this little area is where we're going to stick our pins in. So you could have the cross stitch, you could have a chenille, you could have your beading needles. What's the other one everybody uses? Bullion, not needles. They have a name, I can't remember. Anyway, so you could do that all the way around and put what needles you like to use for what thing. I do applique, so I could have applique. I do piecing, quilt piecing, so I could put that there, because on my little needle, I used to use this. So this one here is hand piecing. This is embroidery, applique, backstitch, because I used to backstitch a bunch of my appliques. And then, I don't know what this extra stitch, maybe it's extra small or something. I don't know what I put there. Anyhow, so now all we have to do, put these back. And like I said, this one here, you could cut in this outside, you could do that in a different fabric and just stitch it down if that's what you want to do. But I just used it for tracing, not a separate pattern. But you also want to use something here that you can write on because you want to be able to see it. All right, so now this is going to go all the way through. So I think I'll just pick a pink. I have all these pinks. Now, there's two of each, actually. I shouldn't say all these. And I'm almost positive. I think that one is probably the closest to the pinkish colors in here. The same tone, I guess. Okay. Let's see if I have a needle. Think about that. Oh, you know, and I did want to show you some of the other things that I have finished. Let me see if that's a good one. Maybe I will at the end if I have time. Or I guess I can have this video can actually be as long as I want it to be. As long as my camera holds up, right? I don't run out of power or room, which I didn't even check to see if I had enough room. The camera will just stop on me. All right, so I think we're gonna need to bury this because now on the edges out here, I'm just gonna do a blanket stitch or running stitch. I mean a blanket stitch or a overcast. So but I don't want those stitches to show from the outside. And this was a piece of fusible. I'm just going to go in like this. I never used fusible, but I didn't have a piece that was 10 inches. So I'm just going to go over that, like the edge, because I'm probably going to do like a blanket stitch and it'll just fit right in. Okay. So on here, I'm just going to do a running stitch. Now on the pattern that she did, it was, she did it all by machine. And so if you wanted to make one of these really fast for a friend or something, you could do this by machine easily. And she also put a binding around the edge, but I don't like to do binding, so. I mean, I've done it millions of times, but just with the slow stitch that we can do, it's kind of nice that we don't have to struggle with that. I feel like I need another pen, just because the fabric on the bottom is not going to move because it's fused down, which is kind of a good thing. That seems a little too far apart. So I may stop and finish sewing all this and then come back because that's a lot of time. Now, I don't know, you could do the other stitching around if you want decorative stitching before you do this part, but I thought if I did this part and I want to do anything decorative, I can skip over these, know where they are, because there's nothing like, you know, if you put in silk roses or something and then you have to put a stitch right across the top, that wouldn't look very good. So, which I watched Jennifer Closton, I think it's called. I have one of her books, but I just cannot do those stitches. But I wish I could. But I do watch her because it doesn't matter if you can do them or not. You find things that she does that you can use. Every person who does videos, YouTube, they all have something to offer. It may not be exactly what kind of work you do. Like, for instance, Marion's World. I watch her, but I don't usually do things that she's working on. And the same with, what's the other lady's name? I'll see now. I was hoping that this would all be the same, but it looks like it's, let me see if I can just trim around this a little. These scissors probably don't work. That's what I forgot over there is my little sewing scissors. Yeah, I didn't have a very good turnout on doing these circles. Okay. So let's see, how am I going to get over there? Just tie it off. I guess the best thing to do is just to tie it up, or I could stitch around here to get back to there. I could do my blanket stitch. Let me see if I can do that. that way I don't have to stop and start as often. I'm sorry if you can't see. I'm having a hard time pulling this needle. It feels slippery. So I think all of you know how to do a blanket stitch. I would just assume it's kind of the basic first stitches you learn. The running stitch, the back stitch, the blanket stitch, or buttonhole stitch, they call it. Buttonhole stitch, I looked that up because I made my own buttonhole for a journal one time, and it's the same as buttonhole stitch, except it's very tiny, very closely stitched. So it was pretty easy to do. I think there was some kind of a stack, what do you call it? Tacking stitch also involved in that at the end and the beginning of the. Okay, pulled it too tight and I'm wanting to get it loosened up here a little bit. That's what happens to me. And then if you wanted, you could take these blanket stitches and you could crochet a little design around the edge. I haven't done that for a long time. Now see, that's not, well, it's catching, but not as good as I would like it to. Maybe not going deep enough. All right, one more blanket stitch and then I can go back down this way. And I don't have any thread left. I knew that was going to happen. That's okay, we'll bury it down here somewhere. Oh, my stitches are just so big anymore. All right, I'm not going to go anymore because I can't bury it. Oh, darn it. I think I'm probably just going to have to figure out how to thread it again and go in and out to bury the stitch. Come on, come on. It's right there. Just doesn't want to catch there. All right, let's just go. I'm just catching the inside of the a little dot there. Oh well. Okay, so let me stop and I'll stitch the rest of these lines in, and then we'll go on to the border part. This may not take as long as I thought. It's going pretty fast, actually. I don't know how much time I've put on it, but 24 minutes already. Well, it's kind of a long. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back and stitch around, or show you how to stitch around this part. And then basically it's done. Then we need to figure out what we're going to do for closure. So let me also figure that out while I'm stitching around here. All right, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I have done the blanket stitch all the way around the outside, and then I've divided the pies with just a running stitch, and then I thought I would do maybe just a decorative stitch around here. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but to give you an idea. So basically it's just a V shape, like so. Just I drew some in advance because I have a hard time remembering the direction I want to go, and I'm not going all the way through. I'm going through the batting in between the layers, I should say. So just gonna do this for a minute here, give you an idea. And this I think it's called like a wheat ear or something. Go up that far. I should have made that one a little bigger. And then you can go back by doing this up one of your designs. Here we go. That's what I'm always messing up. Don't want to be down there. Then you can, at the end of these, you can put little French knots, colonial knots. You can put in the V section of it, you can put there, you could put the French knot or colonial knot. Okay, and then I don't know why I got that. How hard is it? You know, it's really hard for me. I just hope you guys understand that I want to do this, but I can't always go the right direction. I don't know. Just something about it. I lose my thoughts on what I'm doing or want to do. Okay, well that's gonna be enough. So, oops, I'll go back and thread that later and tuck it in. So anyway, I went around that with these. This is kind of a teal color. Oh, this is a 503 DMC number 8. Okay, so then also I can do, I'm gonna take a darker, I wonder, do I want to put French knots in all those little leaves? They're not going to show from the outside, but you could do this before you put it together on the outside if you wanted to. Oh, I only wanted to wrap it once because it's too hard to get that knot through on 2 wraps. Okay, so around here then I want to do just a running stitch. So I'm just going to eyeball this part. And try to watch that circle that I drew so that I can keep it fairly even. Probably should have drawn another straight line around instead, just so I can follow it. This is so much better than the old days when we didn't have the friction pen. And you would have to use a pencil or something, and then you got to make sure you stitch right over it because you would end up leaving it showing. So if I go around all this with this color, and then I can come back and pick another color, I can do this pink again, or maybe I was thinking a dark gray. So let me take this, I'm going to take it over here just for, well, let's see, let me go down this way. I just was thinking about using, well, a French knot would have to go all the way through, I think. 1, 2, 3, let's see. Oh yeah, I can do it that way. But I just need to come up in the next flower. Yeah, not go back. No, just go any old which way. Gotta go back in the same, into the, I'm just trying to back where it was going. So let's see, let's go. God, I've stabbed myself 50 times today. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Go into there and that's what I worry about the French knot, because you gotta really kind of hold on to it. But I think that'll look cute. So, okay. So I'm gonna leave that for now and show you how I plan to do my words. Yeah, I think that's gonna be cute with the little knots, the little French knots, and the little V stitch, whatever it's called, a wheat stitch. Okay, so I went to my computer and I typed out some things that I would put here, and I don't know if I'm going to use all of them or not. I have 8 spaces. I don't know if I did enough here, but for sure I want to put I for sure want to put cross stitch, because now I'm going to put this light underneath it, you guys. I don't want to blind anybody. So if you have a light box, that would work. And I'm using a micro 05 Pigma Micron 05. And this is the only pen that I know of that will not bleed when you write on fabric. And I gotta tell you, I have not used this pen for a little bit. Oops. And I usually have something firmer to write on. But I just didn't want to get out the big old light box. Okay, so there's one word. Let me move that to the side. Cross stitch. Let me see if I can get this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so then we'll do, I'm going to do this 22, 24. I'm making enough space between them so that I can cut these out. I'm doing 22, 24 because I don't know what those needles are called. I think they're probably chenille, but I can't be sure. But I call them the 22, 24 needles. Okay, let's do, I don't really have any milliner needles to put, well, I will. And the slow stitch needle is probably the same too as the 20, 24. So maybe that's what I'll make that. Let's do this. Let's do like center that maybe, and I could put slow stitch. This is just an easy way to do it on fabric tracing. And this is Bradley. The font is called Bradley. I've used it for years. Okay, so that takes care of that. Oops. And I'll put this back on so it doesn't wear out. A little more light down here. So let me cut these. And I think that these will fit. I'm hoping. I think I'm just going to, let's see, let's cut this here. And rip that. And cut that, so I'll rip it here. Just stragglies. And okay, so that can fit there. Now if it doesn't fit there, well, if you stitched everything already, you could set it up here. You know, if you've already done all your design like this and you wanted to, you could set it up there in a bigger spot. But I'm going to set it on here. I was worried about this above here. I mean, not on there. And then I will come back and stitch these. You know, just do a whip stitch around or a running stitch around it. Now these two are going to be fairly close together. And I used the font size, I used 20 on my word processor, whatever that, on, you know, the Microsoft Word. Oh, come on. It's hard to rip these little small ones. No, I have to cut it. It's okay. Just a little shaggy here. Okay, so then this one, I probably should have made that a little bit shorter. Or I can, maybe I'll cut those in two. Okay. So on here, I'll put 20 24s. And then here I'll put slow stitch. And basically either one I could work with. Either needle. They're both going to have big eyes. Like this needle here should be 22, 24. I think this might be a 24. It looks longer. So that needle could be in either one, like this or like that. Okay. So I'm just going to pin this one real quick just so you can see. And I don't know if I'll stitch it right now because it just takes time to do that on, but that gives you the effect. Let me move this one over here, just kind of see how it looks with stitching next to it. Yeah, I think that's cute. I like it when it's just fabric, or if you wanted to, before you stitch everything together, you can make those pie shapes and write what you want in here. And you can do the same thing. You can use a light box and see through it. Okay, so I'm going to take this needle out because I'll probably stab myself, and I'll put it here on slow stitch. Now to close it, and I don't have something to close it with as of yet, but I think there's a lot of different ways I've been thinking. So this is going to go like so. I'm going to just show you. This goes to that seam there, goes to this seam here, like that. And where's my clips? Put a clip on it. Okay, and then this side goes the same way from seam to seam. You know, stitched line to stitch line. Now I'm assuming that this will, okay, so these two should meet here in the middle. And I'm assuming that as you use it, these will stay folded kind of the way they're supposed to be. So it'll automatically go back into place when you close it. So what they did was put a snap right here in this middle part, like that. So I thought, well, I could just put Velcro there, or I thought I could put a button. Let's see if I got one, a bigger one in here. Well, I'm sure I don't have anything to match, but I could put a button here, I mean at the moment, and then on this side I could put a ribbon, and you could just wrap it around and hold it closed if you wanted, which kind of like, I don't know, I sort of feel like that's what I want to do. But the button I could still sew on through both these. I don't think it'll look, I don't know if it'll look bad or not. Or I could get two of the Velcro pieces. I have Velcro that are circles, and you could put a Velcro here and a Velcro here. You also could put a magnet in here before you sewed this up, and a magnet here, and they would just snap together, which is what I might do. I might be able to figure out if I can maybe open this. You see, I'm thinking of things after the fact, which is usually the case. So, but anyways, I think it's going to be cute, and I think it's going to be handy. I hope. It went together a lot faster than I thought it would, so I'm glad about that. Of course, I've got a lot of stitching still to do. I just, you know, can sit and stitch in my chair, but I just wanted to give you a little something to do. I mean, we're all working on the Just Because quilt, but so I'm going to see if my camera went off. I heard a ding. So looks like it's working. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll give it a try. Do your own thing. It would be fun to see what you do. You can always send me an email with your finished product, or you can also go on project, not product, my Facebook group, which is Junk Journal in a Day, but you can put this on there too. Doesn't matter. And then let me show you just real quick all my finished pouches for my nieces. So this one here is the black and tan color, and I just tied it up with some chiffon, and I made this button out of paper clay. This is the inside here. I think it turned out really cute. I'm not going to take all day. And then I made little bags to go in each one. So here's a little bag to go in this one, like a little envelope bag. And that way, if they have a special piece of jewelry that they don't want lost in the bottom, they'll have that. And that just wraps around there. This is the next one. It's also a handmade button that I did. These are so much fun to make. I just need to get around to doing more. This one was out of that sort of dish towel fabric I had, and that opens up, and then the sunflower is inside there. It's all stitched and all beaded and laced down here at the bottom, and it also has a little bag inside, and that just goes around like so. And I left extra because I don't know if the bag will be really full, but I'll leave it up to my sister to decide, you know, to close it or how she wants it to go. So this is the other one. This is also another handmade button, and this is stitched on design from one of my pieces of fabric. And this is a little doily here. I love that little doily. And that one opens up here, and then inside here is the one with the little cat. It's kind of reds and pinks and that kind of stuff. I wish I could get this. I feel like my butterfly quilt, or my Just Because quilt, is just, I'm not decorating it like this type of stuff, and I want to. So I may have to go back and do some more work on those quilt blocks. This one, I just put a little yo-yo here for the closure. This is my favorite, I think. I just love this fabric. And this one is the one that has the basket with the yo-yo flowers, and I put little beads in there, and it's all stitched. And I think that turned out really cute. It just looks so delicate, so girly, shabby chicy. I like that one. And this one here is the very first one I made. It's also got a handmade button on it. Didn't know I made so many. And this is sari silk here. And this one I put that big doily across that top, and this is the inside, and it was all the hexagons that we did. Back in, I guess I started, I think, in July. So that's where we are with these. And that's 5 of them, and I don't have any more to make. Except I made her a whole bunch of those bowl cozy things. So anyway, that's what I've been doing, you guys. And then working on the quilt blocks and so forth. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you get a chance to try this little needle case. You know, you can make it very simple. You can make it more, you know, a lot more stitching on it, and just have fun. Yeah, I think this is gonna really help me, because I need to know what needles are where, and I will stick them all in the pin cushion like here, but I don't know what kind of needle this is. What is this? This looks like, I don't know, a milliner's needle. It looks long and skinny. So it could be like a number 1 or 3 milliners. No, because I think that would be, yeah, that is not a milliner's. Milliner's is one that's got this eye and the whole thing is the same size, like when you're doing French knots or bullion. But I think that's a Chanel. I mean, milliner's. It's not very long, but it's got a small eye in that one too. So, and then I might get something that just has, you know, general or just sewing kind of needles, just your everyday regular cotton thread. All right, guys, so that's it, and I hope you enjoyed it today, and I will be doing another showing on the Just Because quilt. I don't think I have it over at another place because I've been sewing on a little each day, but I'll come back and do another video with that and see what's going on there. All right, so subscribe, like, and comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Only nice comments though, no bad. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.